Hi, welcome back to Transmission on Bent TV. My name is Michelle Sheppard. On today's show, we're talking about Queerspace at Drummond Street. And my guests today are Grace and Louise. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Now, tell me a bit more about Queerspace. What is Queerspace?
Queerspace is a service, part of Drummond Street Services, which is based in Carlton, the head office. And Queerspace is a service for LGBTI community, and it is staffed and managed by people from the LGBTI community. So it's if you want a peer-led service, counselling service.
Okay. Drummond Street seems to be very, very popular as a queer hub or rainbow hub for a lot of different services. Now, how long has this been around, Grace?
Well, Queerspace itself was sort of launched about 3 years ago. So, and since then it's grown substantially in terms of the number of practitioners who are available, and it's actually expanding in terms of space. So those people who've already been to Drummond Street for counselling, they will notice actually some changes actually occurring right now, where we're having new consulting rooms and a new reception and so on built. So it's a significant expansion of the sort of range of services that Drummond Street can provide.
Oh, wow.
They're kind of exploding.
Yeah, yeah. Well, a lot of services are now just exploding from many different niches, and sometimes we're all crossing each other's paths and whatever. What specifically is what makes Queerspace stand out, or what was the idea behind launching Queerspace specifically?
The key thing is the practitioners identify in some way as queer. So we have practitioners who are trans, we have practitioners who are sexually diverse, who have different sorts of relationships, and so on. So it's about a very broad, diverse range of sorts of experience that the practitioners have, which then actually creates an environment. I think for many of our clients, they feel they can come and see somebody who's not going to be judgmental about the way that they live, and also who perhaps they're not going to have to educate so much about the issues that they're facing and the challenges that they're facing.
I think it's a very common experience for people, particularly trans people, to go to a counsellor and find themselves having to educate that counsellor.
Completely. Like, I found going to just GPs or any kind of counselor in general, as soon as you start talking trans, they immediately just like, I don't know anything about this, and that's very hard, very difficult. Now, one of the things I've learned over the few years between my radio shows and doing stuff on TV, there's so much support out there for us as trans people or queer people, but what about our families and those involved in our lives? Did you offer those sort of services as well?
We sure do. Drummond Street Services has always been a place which welcomes family and works with a whole of family model. And what that means is that sometimes it's the family that comes for, the whole family that comes for counselling.
Okay.
Sometimes it's one individual, or it might be a couple. And whoever it is, Drummond Street will offer service counselling and support to all the family members. So what we would do is, the practitioner, the counsellor that is working, say, with a family may then offer individual counselling with someone else within that family, or the individual, if it's an individual, the other way around. So, would your partner like to come in with you or separately?
Okay, nice.
Yeah, so we can do that.
Yeah, and we do sort of see individual clients or families, in that whole holistic sort of context. So even as we review cases over time, we actually have to put them into, do we understand what their family relationships are in this situation? If it's a young person, where are their parents? What's happening? What's the communication relationships like? So we don't just focus in on the individual. We look at their total environment.
Oh, lovely.
And can I just say that we do that because we know.
Yeah.
We know research has shown us that that the most influence on someone's well-being is support from community and from family.
Completely.
So that's why we do it.
And one thing is, especially as a trans person, we a lot of times when we just come out, we experience so much isolation between our work, between our families, all that. Now, over there at Drummond Street in Carlton, it's actually quite a small. There's a lot of little small spaces with many different services. Do you have people come there directly only for this, or do you have other spaces for this for the actual counselling, or does everyone come there to Drummond Street?
We have a centre down in Werribee, in Craigieburn, in Epping. So we have Queerspace counsellors that go to those sites.
Oh, okay.
So it used to be that if you wanted a Queerspace service, you had to come to Carlton, but we're gradually moving in this expansion,
Nice.
moving into other areas, which is fantastic, particularly for young people
Yeah.
who may want to access the service without having to ask mum or dad to
Oh, that's brilliant.
to get them there.
Okay.
So that's a really valuable thing that we're doing. I don't know how far we're going to expand that.
Yeah,
but,
because so many people want to come without their family because they're still sort of struggling in what they want to do, and I know their Drummond's are very much close to public transport and everything. So where do you go from here? So you've been doing quite a bit of work, so you're expanding further and more? You say you're knocking down walls?
It's a bit of a
Not us
rabbit warren.
personally, but-
Sorry.
But,
Yeah.
we are creating that sort of, a larger space, which is slightly separate from the sort of the rest of the Drummond Street counselling, because we just need more rooms.
Yeah.
But also so that actually, people can feel safer, that it's their,
Mhm.
safe space that they can come into in terms of a reception area, and that they know that the people around there are going to be particularly open and accepting.
Well, I mean,
judgmental.
so many more, exactly, and there's more and more of us actually becoming known. We're becoming safer coming out. It's all over the media. It's all over people at work. There's more training and stuff happening everywhere. So it's very important. We have bigger and better spaces to come to.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
but I'm as sure as that I've had experiences of walking into a reception area in a service provision somewhere, and I can see the looks that I get,
Yeah.
or the sort of strange look I get from a receptionist, and we know how difficult that can be. And that's perhaps and I feel bad, and I'm sort of perhaps one of the more confident people.
Yeah,
So somebody's
So I
somebody's
turn
on the
around.
start.
Yeah, I just turn around, looking up and going, like, "Hi, how you going?" And just immediately in their face, "How you going?" Shaking hands, just "How's your day?" sort of thing. And unfortunately, not many of us are capable of doing that.
That's right.
Um,
So we want to provide that really safe environment for people to feel that they can come to us.
Good. So, what about yourselves? Are either of you involved in any other projects outside of this as well, or is Queerspace your main focus?
I work in a private capacity as well as a counsellor, but as Grace does.
Yes, so I do a couple of things. I mean, I do sort of private practice, but I also work at Equinox, which is part of the Victorian AIDS Council, and that's a trans health clinic in Fitzroy. And that's a different kind of model from Drummond Street, for example. So what we have there is it revolves around a medical sort of approach. So it has GPs that are very experienced in trans health, and in particular in the prescribing of hormones. So we manage all aspects of the general health as well as trans-specific health, and I provide some of the mental health support services there. So somebody can go to Equinox, they can see a doctor, and they can also get referred to me as well at the same time.
Well, thank you so much for both of you coming in, Grace and Louise, and telling us a bit more about Queerspace and yourself. Thank you so much to you as well for tuning in and watching. You've been watching Transmission on Ben TV.